Hello, everybody. It's the first full week of fall.
Yes.
The first full. I've even got my vest on. It was chilly. It's been chilly the last few mornings, Jaden.
Yes, and I've been blowing leaves. I was out there blowing leaves off my deck and blowing them down into the woods over here, and it started, and that's going to be my life for the next couple of weeks.
Yes. Until that white stuff, I won't even say the name.
Don't utter those words.
You just let their leaves rest under the cover of the snow until spring.
And then it's spring's problem, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. It's spring's problem. Yeah, exactly. So we are excited about this update this week. We've got some good stuff coming up on the show today. Natalie with some great fireplace ideas. I've got some community events. So let's get right to it. Jaden's got some good info for you as well on the mortgage side of things. So what happened? What happened this week was we're back to normal. We saw a bit of a blip last week where the sale to new listing ratio was only 97% on the detached side. This week bumped back up to 115 with 246 new listings, 284 sales, pending of 207. So I always find that that's a bit of a precursor to the following week's solds, right? So we'll see if that actually does come true next week with only 207 on the pending side. Price reduced to 154. The other important stats there, 25 days on market, which Natalie will get to on the next slide. And our active detached, and again, this is without pendings. If you've never seen this show before, just my personal opinion, if a house is pending, you can write a backup offer, but you can't go in there and buy it. So 1345 down slightly from last week, and our total active, including all the segments, apartment condos, row townhouses, semi-detached, detached, and technically actually recreational properties, because I just put everything in there, but there's no recreational properties in Calgary proper, and that's 2662. So Natalie, what happened last year, same time, same place? Well, pretty much same place.
Yes. Okay, so last year total sales was 436. This year 571. So up almost 31%. New listings last year 560. This year 673. So up almost 20.5%. Active listings 4656. This week 3406. So down 27%. Average. I'm sorry. I'm having a hard time seeing this. Days on market last year, 39. This year, 25. So down 30, almost 36%.
Yeah. And it's been sticking around that 24, 25. I think it bumped up, as you saw on the previous slide, to 27 1 week. But realistically, it's been 20 to 25 days, I think almost all of this year, pretty much.
Yeah.
So there's a look back at a year ago. And Jaden, over to you.
Yeah. And so a lot of these rates are actually probably not accurate at the moment. These are kind of the best rates on the market from one lender who hasn't gone up yet, but everybody went up last week. The bond market kind of went wild, and so everybody bumped their rates up by about a quarter point. So everything you see here, what the most common 5-year fixed high ratio that I'm seeing right now is a 5.84. Which is ridiculous. It's crazy that it's gone up that high, but that's where we're at the moment. And so you can disregard a lot of this slide. This is just kind of, if you were to get today and that lender happened to fit the house you're buying and you as a person, then you could get these right now. But one of the things I wanted to talk about this week is something that you kind of brought up last night at our networking meeting. Mark was a featured speaker, had a great presentation about what's going on. This presentation basically about what's going on in the Calgary market, but said something really interesting, and I think it holds for people who are renting right now. I'm seeing it on my Crossfield Facebook group, Ask Calgary. Yeah. Everywhere I look, people are saying, my landlord has jacked up rents by, X number of whatever. And so it's gone up this many dollars. Does anybody have anything in this budget? And what I think is happening right now, and I know is happening, is landlords are, one, reacting to the market, two, worried about their monthly cash flow. And so if they're renewing into this market, maybe they had their rental at, 2.25% when they bought it in 2018. And now it's gone up to, well, if it's a rental, over 6, close to 7 in some cases. And so quite often what landlords will do is they will, they'll get a 5-year fix, because they know for the next 5 years exactly how much their payment is going to be. And so what do they do to cover the cash flow of that rental? They jack up your monthly rent, right? So if you're in a rental right now, you're getting it jacked up. You think maybe you're not ready to buy. I think now is a good time to think about buying. There's several ways that we could actually, over the next 5 years, decrease your payments significantly to what you're paying for rent while you're building equity in a home. So if you're on that fence, you have a landlord who's jacked things up, you don't think you're ready, talk to me. I'm going to get you set up, and then Mark and Natalie are going to find you the place. And over the next 5 years, we are going to save you money from what you're renting today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love that because that's the reality, right? Like rents, do they go down? Conceivably, but and I didn't share this slide, but on the Calgary Herald today, so Alberta, not surprisingly, led the country in net migration for July 1st to July, like kind of July to July, so July 22 to July 23. So that's net migration. That includes interprovincial migration, of which into Alberta there was almost 80,000 people that moved interprovincially in Canada to Alberta, right? So let's assume, for sake of argument, like, would Calgary get 40% of that? I think that would be very fair to assume, 40%. Yeah. I mean, what is that, like 30 to 35, 40,000 people moved here in the last calendar year. And that's creating all the chaos on the rental side of things, right? There are people that are moving here because they have a job, probably, because there's a ton of job creation going on, but they don't have somewhere to live. And as I said last night, and I'll just reiterate, so you've been renting here for 5 years, 10 years, maybe longer. Your rent's been great. Maybe you have been doing the traditional thinking, putting aside the difference between your rental payment and what a mortgage payment would be, and saving that as a down payment. That's the ideal case, right? And then you can now buy something because now your rent is basically the same, if not higher, than it would be a mortgage payment, including condo fees, including property taxes. And we can run you through all the details. If you actually, on our YouTube channel, if you're watching this right now, if you look at one of our videos, should you rent or buy in 2023, I go in detail and give you an example of a property that was on the market this summer. Excuse me. So check out that video. So enough on that. Natalie.
All right. Today we're talking about fireplace trends we love. Sorry, I'm a little.
Who's the random dude just sitting there?
I don't even know. It's a little creepy. He actually looks like Jason from like those horror movies. I don't know. Not a fan of this. Not a fan of this.
We're talking about Halloween events and community events. So
exactly. There you go. All right. So the first one is using natural stone, which always is a classic, whether it's limestone, marble, you can use quartz, anything. It's a gorgeous finish on a fireplace. And of course it's heat resistant, which is the whole point. Next one is a fluted finish. Now, unfortunately, this picture is not great. The fluting is it's vertical, and it's just such a neat texture to add to a fireplace. It's probably a fairly complex thing to do in some cases, but it just looks stunning when it's done. Not a fan of those curtains though. Anyway, this one is two-toned, and I love this, especially if you have a high ceiling. It really develops that space and really makes it a focal point. So this one, they've used the large scale stone pieces, like the tiling pieces on the top, and then they added this beautiful fluted, again, dark finishing on the bottom. So it's quite stunning. This one is my favorite, the curved shape. It's very 70s. I love it. It's a very specific thing. So you've got to love it to have it in your house, because it's not something you can easily change, but it's really quite stunning. And the last one is full height features, which it says for itself. We had a client actually, and that was one of her major things, is that she wanted an open living room, like to full height living room. But we looked at one house and she sort of liked it, but the fireplace cut off, probably a foot above the actual firebox, and it looked ridiculous. And she was like, okay, so how can I fix this? Blah, blah, blah. The house she ended up getting had exactly that full height fixture. So it just really stands out. And that's all I got.
All right. So that was great. I would add, the old school brick. We're showing a house today in Legacy, and it's got a brick fireplace. I'm really interested to see how that looks inside the house, but I'm kind of a fan of it. So here's some community events. So there's a balloon festival going on in High River. So you want to make the drive out to High River, or if you live in that area. So pilots all over Canada, and it's happening essentially, they're saying, right on McLeod Trail in High River, and that is free. And saying check it out this Wednesday, but it's happening until October 1st. And then we have Pumpkins After Dark. We talked a little bit about it last week, so that's happening. I call it Windsport. It's a Canada. It's not Canada Olympic Park anymore. It's a Windsport. Yeah. Blah blah blah. Yeah. If I say Canada Olympic Park, most people know what I'm talking about. Tickets are from 18. Yeah, exactly. Pascapoo slopes. There's Natalie's original Calgarian nomenclature for you. So that's happening until Halloween, essentially, and really, really fun. Great to do as a family, as a group. We did that a couple years ago with our business networking group, and Jaden had his you only had one child back then, so you could only have had one there. It was good, right?
I think it was one and a full belly at that time.
Exactly. Exactly. So tickets are from $18. If you just Google Pumpkins After Dark, just do it that way. And then we have the ghost tours at Heritage Park happening until the 18th of October, and that's from 7 to 9 p.m. If you go to Curiosity, it's Curiosity, and then if you enter in Calgary, there's some great community events there as well.
That's what we mini golf.
Yes, I did not. Why don't you tell everyone about that?
I don't remember. I just saw on Curiosity. I didn't read it in depth, but they were talking about haunted mini golf, which I thought would be
haunted mini golf. Yeah, so just Google Curiosity Calgary, and then stuff going on this weekend, and that's about it. So next week we're actually away, but we are doing the show live from Las Vegas. Because we wanted to bring you the latest market stats for the month of September. So those stats will be out by the time we hit the airwaves next week. And I love that, airwaves, right? This isn't being broadcast out into the air.
But I got to say that I'm very excited. I didn't know that you guys were taking me to Vegas. So this is fantastic.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, you can fit in a roller bag. Hey, Jaden?
Absolutely. Yeah. I've lost a little bit of weight recently. I think I can squish it.
There you go. There you go. So that's it for this week. Thanks to everybody for either watching live or later on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. And we'll talk to you all in 7 days.
Bye, guys.
Bye.